Hey, how's it going? So, I want to talk to you guys about something kind of interesting that happened to me earlier. I had a couple people commenting, and made me pretty happy that people are finally starting to comment on my videos. That's great. But I wanted to cover a very important topic. Basically, expectations for bodybuilding. A lot of people think they can gain like 30 pounds of muscle in a year, or 20 pounds of muscle in a year. And while some people might be able to do that, the vast majority of individuals won't be gaining that much muscle. It's simply too much. You're going to hear lots of stories of people who over a year or half a year gained like, I don't know, 30 pounds, maybe 20, maybe 45 or some crazy number. And thing to keep in mind is a lot of these people are still growing, and they would have gained half of that weight anyway, just because they're still growing. So that's just something to keep in mind. I was pretty much gaining about 10 to 8 pounds of muscle-ish, a little bit lower sometimes every year, depending on like how good my diet is and how good my training is and all that. Just kind of depends on what's going on. But yeah, just a lot of unrealistic expectations that people are having, and it's not very good. I mean, people need to understand like what they need to do to actually build muscle. I had somebody recently tell me that they gained 60 pounds in 2 years. And it's like, well, either half of that is fat, and even if half of that was fat, that's still 30 pounds of lean muscle. That's still quite a lot. And you have to be pretty genetically gifted to gain that much. Most people in their lifetime are going to gain anywhere from 50 to, I'd say, 80 pounds of muscle max, just based on all the other documents I've read and talked with other people who told me, hey, you know, we actually know what we're talking about. You know, most people can't gain more than that. So that's just something to keep in mind. And yeah, lots of people checking out this channel and they're like, yo man, what's the deal? You ain't even that big. Well, I'll tell you why and what the deal is. Everybody who's going on YouTube to make videos is pretty much on gear. Most people. It looks like it's about anywhere from 50 to 70% of all people on YouTube are just using gear. And let me tell you, you don't have to be big and, you know, to be a gear user, you know, steroid user, because you can actually, you know, Neil Armstrong was using gear for the longest time and he denied it every time, and he actually came out and told people, and he was skinny like a twig, but you know, he used it for specific performance enhancement reasons. And other people can do similar things, whether it be aesthetic or performance. So that's just something to keep in mind. But let me talk about a little bit of what to really expect. So if it's your first year, you'll probably be gaining, I would say you can expect to gain anywhere from 10 to 20 pounds. If it's your first year, if you're eating right and if you're lifting pretty good. A lot of you are going to be like, well, what's eating right and what's lifting good? Well, you have to check out my other videos to figure that out. So if you have any questions on it, just go ahead and send it in and I'll answer them. But you know, just people expect to gain so much. They expect to be like the dudes or gals in the bodybuilding or fitness magazines, but they're all juicing, they're all in gear. So you can't really expect to look like that unless you've been training for 5 years, maybe 4 years, maybe even 8 years for some people, because it can take a really long time. And a lot of them are really low in fat. That's what gives them the really good look. Most people that you wouldn't even suspect of using gear, you know, they basically do. Even people at your local gym or fitness club or wherever you go. Because like I said, you don't have to be big to be using. And some people just do it for a desired specific look. Like some people just want to burn fat quicker. And there are some substances that are good for that. Some people want to gain mass. Some people want to have a full, hard look. And I mean, most of these looks can be achieved just through hard work, but you know how people are. They want results now, and they want them, and they don't want to wait. So, and the thing about it is, it's like, why would you care what happens to you, you know, 10, 20 years down the road if you can get results now? And that's why a lot of people are kind of leaning towards doing other things. But you know, for your first couple of years, don't expect to, you know, become the biggest, but you should have pretty good gains. Like I said, 10 to 20 pounds your first year. If you're doing everything right, it could be half of that if you're genetically not gifted. And then every accompanying year, you're gonna find that even if you work out more and even with more flawless diets, there's just gonna be diminishing returns, which basically means you just won't be able to gain as much. So it's one of those things that, you know, one year you may gain 15 pounds, next year you'll probably gain maybe 10. But you won't be sustaining a certain level of gains for too long. And eventually your gains start to plateau and you start to reach your genetic limit. Me, I'm a pretty good example of that. I've been lifting technically for about 5 years, but if you put all my lifting together, like for days, for the amount of days I've actually lifted, I've probably only lifted for maybe 2.5 years straight. But you have to watch my transformation video to really understand what my lifting experience is. I'll probably link that in this video. But so I was about 130, 135 when I first started lifting, and I'm pretty much 180 to 185 now. I've been going up. But yeah, I mean, that right there is about 40 to 45 pounds of muscle already, and I mean, like I said, people are going to be anywhere from about 50 to 80, I guess you could say maybe 50 to 100 pounds of muscle in a lifetime. And I mean, that's a lot. If you put it on a person, that's a lot. I mean, if you were seeing 2 pounds of meat, that is quite a lot of meat. So you know, as long as you're doing it consistently, you should be packing on the meat, and hopefully not packing on too much fat while you're doing it, because that's kind of a pain in the ass, and it's a lot harder to get rid of than you think. I mean, me being an ectomorph skinny guy, I used to be, I think it was like 8%, 9% body fat, and I was super cut. I'm like at, I think I'm like 13% right now, and it's pretty crappy because I start to look smaller when I gain more fat, and because my definition starts to go away, and the muscularity and all that starts to look kind of crappier. My genetic limit is probably around up to about maybe 200 pounds. I'll really be pushing myself because I know my legs need more development. I haven't really developed them too much. Chest, I've technically already developed quite a lot. I mean, I don't know if you could see that. It's pretty decent chest, got a pretty decent back. Hopefully you can kind of see that. I don't know if you can or not, but that's kind of what it looks like. So my back and chest have developed pretty good. My arms still kind of lagging a teeny bit, but legs, that'll probably definitely put on maybe around another 20 pounds of muscle, but that's going to take a while. But yeah, I mean, we all make mistakes when we first start lifting, so you know, what you could have been doing, you weren't doing, so you know, you didn't get the gains that you should have got. But yeah, that's my opinion on that. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, comment, like, subscribe. Question of the day that I wanted to ask you guys is like, how much pounds of muscle did you expect to gain your first year? Did you just start lifting recently? What are your expectations? And let's just find out and see if your expectations are real. Yeah, just say hello if you're watching. Alright guys, thanks a bunch. Cheers. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe, and tell me what kind of videos you guys want me to make. I'm making these videos specifically for you guys, so if there's a particular bodybuilding topic you guys want me to cover, go ahead. Either shoot me an email, comment on this page. Let me know what you guys want to see. I want to hear from you guys. Also, I do personal training for people. So if you'd like to get personal training through the internet, or you want to do personal training and you live somewhere in Portland or any of the surrounding regions, basically I'm a trainer in Portland, Oregon. So go ahead, shoot me a message, we can meet up and I can train you. Get you in shape, get you that body you always wanted. Alright guys, take care, thanks.